I'm Elika and it's my birthday today. It's the third year now that I'll be spending it without my dad since he was imprisoned by the Iranian regime in 2017. And the reason I made this video is to not only show that as his daughter I care about him and that I think he's a wonderful person, but it's also to show that his friends and relatives care about him. Any daughter can say amazing things about their dad, and people might think that's because they're blind to their flaws. But it's really painful for me to see my dad every single day languishing in a prison for something he didn't do, and his name being tarnished because people doubt him. People kind of brand him with this awful things that's been attached to his name now, and it can be far from the truth.
Since 2017, when this has happened, it's affected our family in so many different ways, whether it's our financial life, whether it's our personal lives, emotional lives, daily chores, everything. And the worst part about it is that we don't know how to actually solve the issue, and we don't know how long it's going to go for, which makes it kind of comparable with having some sort of chronic illness where you don't really know what the cure is.
Where do I begin to describe a man who I learned a lot from? The first thing that comes to my mind is his kindness. I mean, Anoosheh is the kindest person I've ever known in my life, and for the people who know him, they know that I'm not exaggerating and it's a kind of a pure fact. He's so creative, he's so considerate, he's so supportive, and it's so unfair for him to be in this situation. And I hope governments could do and help to bring him back to his family. We all miss him so much.
When I sit behind my desk working, there's so many little things I see that actually remind me of what a considerate person Anoosheh is. For example, everyone who knows me knows that I'm always hot. I mean, it could be snowing outside, but I'm always hot. I remember a few years ago when he came back from one of his trips to Iran, he brought me this little fan that you see here. It's like this. I think he saw it somewhere in a market and he thought, oh, that'd be a handy thing for Sherry to have because she's always hot, so she can just have it next to her desk.
I'm Mike, a friend and neighbour of Anoosheh's. I certainly recall the many walks and talks that I had over the months and years with Anoosheh, and we covered many diverse subjects. I was always struck by his breadth and depth of knowledge on all those subjects, and have much to learn from his insightful thoughts and compassionate nature.
He didn't choose for this to happen. Just because he ticked some boxes in a criteria where he could be used as a political pawn, I guess he drew the short straw and he was unluckily picked by the Iranian regime to be abused and used as hostage.
I can't really imagine how they can live with this anguish in their heart, knowing that her father is innocent and has been held hostage in a prison just because the English government doesn't think he's British enough to be helped. So I really have no words. This is just horrible what the British government is doing to a British citizen.
I remember once we talked about the problems of evil and how it took good men to do nothing for it to survive. Anoosheh, through no fault of his own and in forced circumstances, has to deal with this every day.
So I want to call for awarenesses, and also I want to call for freedom for Anoosheh. he deserved to be back with his kids. He deserved to be respected.
Putting this together has been genuinely one of the most difficult things I have done. I really, trying to find the words to do this man justice has been really, really hard, because you would be hard pressed to meet a more genuine and generous of spirit character as Anoosheh.
I've known Anoosheh for over 13 years. I'm sharing what I know Anoosheh to be as a person in order to remind the UK government of his humanity and to remind them that he is greatly missed and we care.
Anoosheh Shuri is perhaps one of the most kind-hearted, generous, happy people I have ever met. He's the first one to take his jacket off and give it to you when you're cold, even if he's cold himself.
2 years ago, I started a campaign asking the British government to step up on behalf of its citizens' rights. Today is the birthday of Anoosheh Shuri's daughter. Anoosheh and his family have been deprived of valuable memories, unjustly. Prime Minister, Foreign Secretary, please demand Anoosheh's immediate release.
Anoosheh has a really interesting outlook on life, and you can tell he loves to learn. He's always learning something new, and he finds everything amazing, which is why I call him Amazing Anoosheh.
I'm absolutely heartbroken for the most wonderful family for this to be happening to possibly the nicest family that you will ever meet. It's not fair. He needs to be freed. And I just hope that we can raise awareness for something to change.
I have to be honest, I had never considered the government here to be corrupt, and I was in absolute shock of the lack of support to help an innocent man trapped by a corrupt government abroad, and the fact that absolutely nothing is being done to bring him home to his family.
I'd like to address the UK government and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office to quickly and diplomatically resolve any problems they have with Iran and make it a matter of urgency to have Anoosheh Shuri, who's been imprisoned on false tenses, released and safely returned back to the UK.
Anoosheh is just a peace-loving man that came to this country, served this country, now a British citizen, and the British government are allowing him to be used as a pawn in their political games. I think that they should be ashamed of themselves. I'm certainly ashamed to be British.
This is a message for the British government. Please support our friend Ilika and her family. Ilika is our good friend. She's a kind person and always looking after the others. Her father is going through extreme difficulties, and the government is in a position to help. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle. Anoosheh is not forgotten by those who love him. He has been to hell on earth. He is still there. His family too. We wonder why it is that with COVID-19 rampant in the close confines of Evin Prison, Anoosheh and his fellow British citizens who are in desperate need of help are being left in such dire straits.
Please help the Anoosheh family to get their dad back out of prison. He's been there far too long and the family have suffered enough. Thank you.
It saddens me greatly to see the detrimental effect this has had on both Aryan and his family. However, it has been heartening to see how far they are willing to go to get their dad back, as well as seeing others standing up on their behalf.
He's a pawn in a game between Iran and Britain, and he needs to come home. Now, the Americans recently successfully negotiated the release of their Chinese-American citizen Shi Wei-Wang, also accused of spy. So what's the barrier here for Anoosheh?
I now realise that the underwhelming response from the British government essentially boils down to racism. That this now head of state, who even failed to look into Zaghari-Ratcliffe's case enough to accurately defend it, should not even attempt to publicly defend Anoosheh, is no coincidence.
I've largely been proud of the democratic values we kind of hold close to a shared national identity in this country. But the inaction on the cases of dual national citizens imprisoned in Iran seems to be in stark contradiction of these values, and it's a very bad reflection of the UK government and our democracy.
Every country on earth has a history filled with bloodshed, thievery and war. The British government knows full well that Iran's current geopolitical status as enemy of the West is largely a result of our own historic meddling. There are, however, good and innocent men, and Anoosheh is one of them. Perhaps nations will continue to bicker and fight until the sun collapses, but I hope that maybe along the way we can stop using innocent people as pawns in the games of rich and powerful men.
I don't understand why so many criminals are getting off with a slap on the wrist, whereas Anoosheh, who is a tax-paying, law-abiding, honest citizen, is being left to rot in prison when he's done nothing wrong, and for 10 years. How is that okay?
They've been here for decades in the UK and are British, basically. It really saddens me to hear that her wonderful father is still in Iran.
He is a citizen of Britain, and his family is waiting for his return. To anyone who has the power to bring him back, please help us. We need your compassion at this time. Thank you, and God bless.
He is a natural storyteller, and he always saw the best in people, which I thought was really incredible.
I feel so frustrated to see my friend waiting for her dad, for her husband, to be delivered. It's been already 3 years. Please help us to deliver Anoosheh. Thank you.
Please send my friends die home.
یه آدمی رو میشناسم با یه قلب بزرگ، با یه دل پاک. من بچه بودم وقتی باهاشون آشنا شدم. مهربونیشون، حمایت‌ها و مراقبت‌های پدرانه‌شون همه باعث می‌شد که احساسم کمتر از احساس یه دختر به پدرش نباشه. و حالا که می‌بینم تو این بره از زندگیش دچار چه گرفتاری سختی شده، مات و مبهوتم از این بی‌عدالتی.
I don't understand how there is a lack of care to the people that support our country, work hard, pay their bills, their taxes, do everything they can to be part of our country, yet are just pushed aside as if they mean nothing. I just don't understand the lack of care and support for this poor family that work harder than people I know that have lived here all their lives. Could you please explain that?
I see how his daughter struggles every day as Elika's partner, and I hope the British government wakes up and helps this innocent person get out of jail and be with his family.
He is a wonderful father, husband, and ultimately a family man who is in prison for something that he is completely innocent of. Cannot imagine anything more horrifying than thinking that my father was anything other than safe, comfortable, happy, and surrounded by his loved ones. So I urge the British government to do your duty, take responsibility, get up off your ass, and free Anoosheh and the other people who have been held for things that they have nothing to do with.
I just cannot believe what has happened. This just doesn't seem right. This just doesn't fit.
Some sadly can't see their fathers because of COVID-19, but they can send a card or make a phone call. Imagine how horrible it would be if you couldn't even do that. And even worse, if your father was thrown into a foreign prison for 10 years for crimes he didn't commit. Well, this is the story of Anoosheh Ashuri.
I knew Anoosheh a few years ago in London. He doesn't deserve to be treated like an animal, and he's a wonderful human being. He deserves to be with his family and enjoying his well-deserved retirement. Free Anoosheh.
We are burning in the flames of someone else's fire. It is not right for human beings to be treated like this. As a birthday wish, I can't think of anything else that I would love than for my dad to be back. and it pains me every day. That someone so good and honest has to endure this fate. So I'm asking the British government if they have any decency left in them. If there is anyone who holds power and has the ability to help, to please help us. I have been hit hard with the fact that people who do care have no power, and people who do have power don't really care at all. I just hope that this message will get to the right ears and someone will help me and my family, and that I could celebrate my next birthday with my entire family as one. Thank you.
Hello, Kakuli. I've got only 2 minutes left, so I'm going to say happy birthday to you. And I really hope that I will be cuddling you on your next birthday, and you will blow the candle in front of me. I love you. Mwah. See you soon. Bye.